When an entire village was starving, an old man gave away his last piece of bread to an animal. People called him crazy. But no one knew that this one decision would change his entire life. In a small village in Rajasthan, Kankroli, there had been no rain for 3 years. The wells had dried up, the fields lay barren, and hunger hung over every home in the village. In this village lived an old farmer, Hiralal, 60 years old, back bent with age, but there was still a strange peace in his eyes. His wife had passed away. His children had moved to the city in search of work. Hiralal lived alone in his broken-down hut. Every evening, villagers would bring back a little grain from the government relief camp. Hiralal too would get 2 rotis, his entire day's meal. One evening, Hiralal was sitting outside his hut, about to eat, when he heard a strange sound, like a whimper. He got up to look. Behind the bushes lay an injured deer. One of her legs was badly wounded. Perhaps she'd been caught in a poacher's trap. She looked terribly weak, half dead from thirst and hunger. Hiralal just stood there for a moment, watching her. Then he looked at the 2 rotis in his hand. This was his entire day's food. But without a second thought, he broke off 1 roti and placed it in front of the deer, along with the little water he had left at home. The deer was frightened, but hunger forced her forward. Slowly she began to eat. That night, Hiralal ate only half a roti. His stomach churned with hunger, but there was a strange peace in his heart. The next day, the deer was still there. Hiralal fed her half his roti again. This went on day after day for 15 days. Hiralal grew weaker himself, but he never gave up. The villagers taunted him. "The old man has gone mad," they said. "He'll starve himself feeding an animal." Hiralal would just smile. He would say, "One who has known hunger understands another's hunger best. This deer, too, is a life made by God." On the 15th day, the deer's leg began to heal. She slowly rose and started to walk. Tears filled Hiralal's eyes, as if he had watched his own daughter recover. One morning, the deer wasn't there. Hiralal figured she'd gone back to the forest. He felt sad but also at peace, knowing he had saved a life. But the story didn't end there. 3 weeks later, Hiralal woke up suddenly one night, as if someone had shaken him awake. He heard that familiar sound from outside. He stepped out and saw the same deer, pacing restlessly outside his hut, running toward the forest again and again, as if pointing the way. Something felt strange to Hiralal. He picked up his walking stick and followed her. The deer led him straight to the village's old, dried-up stepwell, a place no one had gone near in years because it was said the ground there had caved in. As Hiralal got closer, he saw it. Water was seeping through a large crack in the well's wall. In that stepwell, dry for years, a new spring of water had broken through deep below. Perhaps recent seismic activity had raised the underground water table. Hiralal's eyes went wide with disbelief. He ran back to the village and woke everyone up. The next morning, the whole village gathered at the stepwell. The soil was cleared away, and below clean, cool water came bubbling up, enough to meet the needs of the entire region. There were tears in the villagers' eyes. The old man who'd been called crazy just yesterday, today, people looked at him with folded hands in gratitude. The deer stood at a distance, watching it all from behind the bushes. Hiralal looked toward her and bowed his head slightly, as if to say, "Thank you." The deer paused for a moment, and then slowly disappeared into the forest, forever. Hiralal never imagined that half a roti, shared on a hungry night, would one day become a source of life for an entire village. Nature never forgets to settle the balance, we just don't always understand its timing or its way. If you believe that helping a voiceless creature is never wasted, write Jai Ho in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more true karma stories like this one. And by the way, this isn't just a story. In Rajasthan, the Bishnoi community has treated deer as part of their own family for centuries. They've given their lives to protect deer and trees too. Their bond with nature is just as real today as it is in Hiralal's story.